6 NFL franchises have hired new NFL head coaches. 2 NFL teams, the Bengals and the Dolphins, still do not have head coaches officially. We'll talk about them at the end, but I want to first go through all 6 teams that have hired NFL coaches. So first, the most exciting head coach to me was the New York Jets hired Adam Gase, and I think this is a fantastic move. In my opinion, Adam Gase was fired way too prematurely in Miami. I thought really unjustly fired by the Miami Dolphins. And so I love that the New York Jets, a division rival of the Miami Dolphins, were able to pick him up. I think that is fantastic. Look, I understand why Adam Gase was fired by the Dolphins. He was 23-25 in his 3 seasons there. But you got to understand, Adam Gase never had the right quarterback in Miami. He had Ryan Tannehill for 3 years. He was hurt every year. 1 year he didn't play the entire season. They had to bring in Jay Cutler. Literally, here's how good of a coach Adam Gase is. This is for some perspective. He won a bunch without Ryan Tannehill, without his, quote, franchise quarterback, who in my opinion never panned out. But Adam Gase won games with Brock Osweiler at quarterback. I feel like that's enough said. You won games with Brock Osweiler, you can do anything. I think he's a great offensive mind. I think he's a wonderful head coach that, again, never really got a fair chance in Miami because of the problems the Dolphins had at quarterback. I know you can say, well, if Adam Gase is a quarterback guy, why wasn't Ryan Tannehill a better quarterback? A coach can only do so much. There's 2 ends of the bargain. The coach has to do his side. The quarterback has to do his part. Ryan Tannehill was never healthy. He didn't seem to quite develop as he should have with understanding of defenses. That's just work in the offseason. His accuracy kind of sucked. And I think that Adam Gase never got a fair shot in Miami. I'm so glad he's going to the New York Jets. I think the Jets are a great fit. Him and Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold has a great offensive coach, and Adam Gase finally has the quarterback he's always wanted with Sam Darnold. It's a great match. I think Adam Gase is going to be a home run with the New York Jets. In fact, I really think that this is now the beginning of the end for the Patriots dynasty. The AFC East, the Patriots division, is getting much better. The Buffalo Bills have Josh Allen, their franchise quarterback. The Jets just got a great head coach. They have Sam Darnold, their franchise quarterback. I think, and Tom Brady's getting older, this is the beginning of the end for the New England Patriots. They still got a couple of years in the tank, but very soon, Josh Allen and or Sam Darnold is going to be dominating the AFC East, and we might forget very quickly about the New England Patriots. So let's go from the coach I love to the coach I'm very concerned for. The Packers hired Matt LaFleur to be their head coach. And, man, I don't know. I feel really bad for Matt LaFleur. This guy first worked with Sean McVay and the Rams a couple years ago. Matt LaFleur is a great coach. He was the Titans offensive coordinator last year. But the problem is Aaron Rodgers. I personally believe there's a chance this works. There's a small reason why Matt LaFleur could be successful as the Packers head coach. But here's my honest opinion. This is why I think it's going to be a big problem. Matt LaFleur has to deal with Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers is kind of like, I think a great analogy is an 18-year-old kid who is a senior in high school. In America, when you turn 18, you're officially an adult. And teachers, parents, nobody can really tell you what to do because you're an adult. You make your own decisions. That doesn't mean you still don't need help, though. I mean, I know a lot of people that they're 18, they think they're actually 40, and an 18-year-old kid still needs guidance, still needs help. You still need some parenting. But you're 18, so legally, you don't have to listen to anything anyone tells you. Aaron Rodgers is kind of like that. He thinks he has all the answers. He doesn't want to listen to any other coaching, but he still needs to be coachable. This is who Aaron Rodgers is. He's got a bad attitude. He gives a lot of death stares to people. He's sulky. He doesn't always run the offense the way it's supposed to be run. He runs kind of his own style stuff. He doesn't work within the system. And I don't know how you're going to bring in a new offensive coach with a great new system and Aaron Rodgers isn't going to somehow get frustrated and do his own thing. He thinks he knows better. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is coachable. And again, Matt LaFleur might be a fantastic head coach. But I don't know. So Matt LaFleur is 39 years old. The Packers' new head coach, 39. Just 4 years older than Aaron Rodgers, the starting quarterback, who's 35. That's going to be a weird dynamic. You think Aaron Rodgers is going to listen to a 39-year-old coach? No way. I don't buy it at all. There's a possibility it works. Here's why it could work. Everybody in the Packers corner feels like the problem was the old head coach, Mike McCarthy. The reason why people think Mike McCarthy was a problem for the Packers is that his offense was not creative enough. He was relying too heavily on Aaron Rodgers' arm to make great throws against man coverage rather than using interesting creative concepts to get guys more open. Yeah, I agree with that. Again, I think Mike McCarthy's offense did rely heavily on Aaron Rodgers' arm and receivers making great catches. So people think Aaron Rodgers needs more creative play calling, guys will be more wide open. And, Matt LaFleur, he worked with the Rams and Sean McVay, so clearly he understands concepts. A lot of people believe Aaron Rodgers is getting the offense that he needs. Maybe. And look, here's the other thought. So Aaron Rodgers supposedly is getting what he needs, and Matt LaFleur is getting the best quarterback he's ever had. That's great. He's a really talented quarterback. The guy used Blaine Gabbert last year at quarterback with Tennessee. That would be frustrating. So I think that Matt LaFleur feels like he's getting a prized racehorse. We're going to win a lot of races because this horse is far better than the last one. The problem is that racehorse, Aaron Rodgers, he bucked the last guy that rode him off. He wants to do his own thing. And so maybe Aaron Rodgers gets the play calling he needs, and maybe Matt LaFleur gets his dream quarterback, but time will tell, and I think Aaron Rodgers' ego is too much of a problem for Matt LaFleur to be successful in Green Bay. Man, there are a bunch of interesting coaches that have been hired. The Browns hired Freddie Kitchens to be their next head coach. I love that. I think that's fantastic. Freddie Kitchens, when Hugh Jackson was fired by the Cleveland Browns halfway through the season, Freddie Kitchens became the Browns offensive coordinator. Him and Baker Mayfield together thrived. It was fantastic. Baker Mayfield broke the rookie record for touchdown passes with 27. And my fear, honestly, this is why keeping Freddie Kitchens around in the Cleveland Browns organization is a good move. When the Browns fired Hugh Jackson, my fear was, okay, wow, crap. He's going to have to go to his he's going to have two offensive systems in just his first two seasons. You're going to go from one offensive coordinator, Hugh Jackson or Todd Haley, Freddie Kitchens, then another third one. That's bad. You need some continuity. And you get continuity when you keep Freddie Kitchens around. It's good for Baker Mayfield because he can learn and expand on the offense he already knows rather than having to restart from scratch and learn a whole new offense. That's fantastic. The one this is not necessarily fair to Freddie Kitchens. I acknowledge that. But I do wonder. So Freddie Kitchens has never been a head coach before. I like the idea of the Browns bringing in Chuck Pagano to be the new defensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns. The Browns fired Greg Williams, interim head coach. He was a defensive coordinator. He's gone, and I don't know. He did a good job. Thank you for your service. If you're a Browns fan, I'm not, but I'm just saying that's probably how Browns fans feel. But in Greg Williams' history, we've known him to be a guy who argues, who fights, who doesn't necessarily get along. And so, I don't know. I don't mind letting him walk away. And I really do think the Browns should take a hard look at Chuck Pagano, the former Colts head coach, at being their defensive coordinator. He'd be a great assistant head coach. I like him. Remember, his history. Chuck Pagano was once the Ravens defensive coordinator. He did a lot of great stuff with Ray Lewis. He was a kind of a mastermind at understanding scheme and doing a good job. Now, he failed miserably as a Colts head coach. I can acknowledge that. Chuck Pagano kind of fell off a cliff. He had some good years with Andrew Luck and then really fell off a cliff. Here's why I think Chuck Pagano would be great as a defensive coordinator for the Browns. Not a head coach, but he's been there before. His experience, his failures, I think could be valuable in giving Freddie Kitchens some perspective, working as an advisor to Freddie Kitchens, and also using his understanding of defenses to be a great defensive coordinator. I know Chuck Pagano, that name a lot of people go, oh, but he failed to the Colts. But he still understands defense. And his experience as a head coach could be valuable to the Browns to help Freddie Kitchens, a guy who's never been a head coach before. So I love Freddie Kitchens being retained as a Browns head coach, and I think the Browns should take a hard look at maybe hiring Chuck Pagano to be their defensive coordinator. Another head coach that was hired, the Cardinals hired Kliff Kingsbury, the former Texas Tech head coach, to be their new head coach. Remember last season, Kliff Kingsbury struggled at Texas Tech. He got fired. And so this is what's interesting. He got fired by Texas Tech, and then literally, no joke, Kliff Kingsbury was a USC offensive coordinator for all of 3 weeks. Got hired by USC, literally was there for 3 weeks, and now he got hired by the Cardinals. It's a good hire by the Cardinals. We'll start with the Cardinals first. It's interesting. We saw Sean McVay go to the Rams, help a second-year quarterback, Jared Goff, understand football and really help his career. Then we saw Matt Nagy go to the Chicago Bears, and he helped a second-year quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky, really build his career into something that's respectable. Kliff Kingsbury is the offensive mind that can help the Cardinals quarterback, Josh Rosen, as he enters his second year in the NFL. It's great. Young quarterbacks need good offensive coaching. If we can recap Josh Rosen's rookie year, Steve Wilkes, his head coach, got fired. Mike something got fired. The offensive coordinator for the Cardinals got fired as well. Head coach got fired. Offensive coordinator for Josh Rosen got fired in the middle of the season. That's really ugly. And so I think it's really, really good for a guy like Josh Rosen to have a solid, really great offensive mind as your head coach who can help develop you and help develop Josh Rosen into something that we respect and maybe is a Pro Bowl level quarterback. So it's interesting. Kliff Kingsbury is good for the Cardinals. But Kliff Kingsbury leaving USC and going to the Cardinals, it's a big red flag for USC. What it looks like is Kliff Kingsbury got to USC. He checked it out, realized this is a mistake, and decided to bail. I believe Clay Helton, USC's head coach's days are numbered. Clay Helton is on the hot seat already, and he really needed Kliff Kingsbury to help him revamp the offense. Now that Kliff Kingsbury is not going to be there to do that for USC, it's not good. Again, it looks like Kliff Kingsbury got to USC, looked around at everything they had, met with coaches, and said, not a good fit. I'm going to take off. Because he left. And so USC ends up looking really, really bad in the wake of Kliff Kingsbury leaving. The Buccaneers hired Bruce Arians to be their head coach. It's the fifth coach that I want to talk about today. It's fantastic. I love it. I am a huge, huge fan of Bruce Arians. He's a former Arizona Cardinals head coach. He's the reason why Andrew Luck had a great rookie year. Then he moved on to the Cardinals. He revamped Carson Palmer's career before Bruce Arians briefly retired. He's a no BS kind of guy. He gets right to the point. He tells you exactly what he thinks. And that, I believe, could be really, really good for the Buccaneers quarterback, Jameis Winston. He's got some discipline issues. He's had discipline issues in the past off the field. And so I really hope that stops with Bruce Arians. Another thing that's interesting is the Buccaneers hired former Jets head coach Todd Bowles to be their defensive coordinator. I think it's a great move. Todd Bowles, as the former head coach of the Jets, he failed there, but he's still a great defensive mind. Guys fight really hard for him. He has a great understanding of defense, knows a lot of great defensive schemes. With Bruce Arians running the offense and Todd Bowles running the defense, it's very possible the Buccaneers make a dramatic turnaround, and I feel really good about that. I think the Jameis Winston needed someone to get him in line. Bruce Arians is the man to do that. No BS. Let's get this done. I'm going to tell you how it is. I believe Jameis Winston could really learn a lot and really benefit from having a head coach like Bruce Arians around. The sixth head coach I want to talk about, the last and final confirmed head coach so far in the NFL is Vic Fangio. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm probably saying it dead wrong. I just read it once. He's the former Bears defensive coordinator. Smart guy. I watched a lot of Bears games. He really understands defensive schemes. And he's going to do a good job. The Broncos have a lot of really good defensive personnel around. And their new head coach is really going to do, I think, a lot of good stuff with their personnel. So defense, Broncos, they're great. I love that. Here's the problem. We all assume that the Broncos are going to hire a rookie or going to draft a rookie quarterback, which means you're going to have Case Keenum and a rookie quarterback to be the two Broncos quarterbacks going into next year. If you're going to build around a rookie quarterback, I'm sorry. I hate to say this. I think he's a great head coach, a great coach. Vic Fangio. I think that's his name. I don't know. I read it once. Who knows? But I don't know he's going to work with a rookie quarterback. Rookie quarterbacks traditionally need offensive head coaches. We've seen the defensive coach rookie quarterback thing. It doesn't work well. Todd Bowles got fired. Jeff Fisher got fired. Steve Wilkes got fired. coach after coach after coach, defensive head coaches and rookie quarterbacks do not seem to pan out very well. And so it's an interesting hire for the Broncos. I think they brought in a head coach who has a great understanding of defenses. However, I don't know that he's going to be what the Broncos need when they have a rookie quarterback on their roster. So those are the 6 coaches that have been hired. Most of them pretty good. Broncos are concerning, not concerning, interesting, because again, it's a great coach. He's got great personnel. I don't know he's going to do good for quarterbacks. The only coach I'm really concerned about is Matt LaFleur, the Packers head coach. Although, let's be honest, I don't think highly of Aaron Rodgers, so almost no matter who they chose, I would have been concerned. I would have felt better, though, if the Packers had hired a defensive-minded head coach to take over the defense and let Aaron Rodgers take care of the offense. Now, there are 2 head coaches two teams left that do not have head coaches. The Bengals have not named a head coach, and the Dolphins have not named officially a head coach. Let's talk about the Bengals first. The Bengals are likely hiring the Rams quarterback coach, Zach Taylor, to be their head coach. And the reason why this won't be official for a while is they have to wait until the Rams are officially out of the playoffs. I have no idea if Zach Taylor is going to be a good coach for the Bengals or not. But I will say this. The Bengals have played things really, really safe the last couple of years. They've stuck with Andy Dalton, who's not very good. They've stuck with Marvin Lewis, who's marginal. He's a middle-of-the-road coach who's fine. He's about 7-9 every year. And so I like that the Bengals are taking a risk on a different coach, different approach, offensive, young guy. And maybe Zach Taylor is exactly what the Bengals need. Maybe he will revitalize Andy Dalton and fix his career. Or maybe they'll move on from Andy Dalton because they're taking risks now, and they'll go get a young franchise quarterback and build around that guy. Either way, I really like what the Bengals are doing with Zach Taylor. If he's indeed the head coach, it's a very interesting hire. It might fail and blow up completely, but at the very least, it's very, very interesting. Now, the Dolphins. The Dolphins need a head coach, and I have no sympathy for them. They let a great head coach walk out of their building. The Miami Dolphins unjustly fired Adam Gase, a guy who did a great job for them for years. The problem in Miami was their quarterback, Ryan Tannehill, wasn't very good. I was excited for the Dolphins. I thought the Dolphins they're gonna move on from Ryan Tannehill. They're gonna draft a quarterback, and Adam Gase can finally get the guy he needs. Well, no. The Dolphins have kept Ryan Tannehill on the roster, but they got rid of their head coach, Adam Gase, and that's weird to me. I'm happy Adam Gase landed in New York. He's got a great quarterback, Sam Darnold. I think that's a match made in heaven. And if I was a coach, a prospective coach looking at the Dolphins, why would I want to go there? They just got rid of a coach I respect. If I'm an NFL coach, I look at Adam Gase and go, that guy's not a terrible coach. You fired him, and you don't have a quarterback. So you're not going to be fair to me necessarily. You might unjustly fire me, and you might not let me have a quarterback to build around. Why would I want to go to the Miami Dolphins? In fact, it's so bad. The Dolphins are considering just hiring their offensive coordinator from last year, making him their head coach, which is just bizarre and weird. It's just like you're going to keep basically Adam Gase's guy and make him the head coach. It just means you have no options. And so I think the Dolphins are in trouble. I think it's their fault. They caused a problem by firing Adam Gase unjustly. And now I think they're going to get a pretty crappy head coach as a result. Oh, I hate doing this. It makes me feel uncomfortable. I really don't like self-promotion. It makes me feel like a used car salesman, but I got to do it. So if you don't know, this is my podcast, Strong Opinion Sports. It's my favorite thing in the world. And you can subscribe on iTunes, SoundCloud. You can find it on YouTube. You can find the full entire hour-long podcast on YouTube. You can also find shorter breakout clips like the one you just watched. Please do me a favor. If you like anything I had to say, maybe you hate me and you're mad about something, share this podcast with your friends. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you want to do. Help me grow by telling your friends about this show.